Hi everybody, and welcome to our anticipated releases for the month of June. Feels like forever since we've done this, but I'm a little excited for it. I'm Mike.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Travis.
Yeah, and like usual, for those of you that have seen our videos, you know how this works. Each of us are bringing 2 different games to the menu. There's a few cool games coming out this month. I know as far as the Nintendo Switch goes, there's a couple that we're very, very excited for. So I'm actually going to ask you guys to wait, because I want to start out for this one, because the games I have, I feel like are a little bit on the lesser side. I think Nick and Travis have a couple that are pretty cool. And I'm going to start out with a game called Shaq Fu: A Legend Reborn. I want to talk about this game.
Still can't believe this.
It's hilarious. Well, the first game sucked. I think that's fair to say. But it's like it's a gem because it's so bad that it's good. And it's Shaquille O'Neal. Yeah, basically. But this game is like legendary status. Sonic Boom is it's just garbage.
Legendary status.
It's legendary garbage. Yeah, we'll say that. But that's kind of what Shaq Fu is. Shaq Fu had terrible controls. It was dumb. The only reason people like enjoyed it or enjoyed its existence, I guess, is because it was Shaquille O'Neal. But this game, and it's funny too, because if you watch the trailer for Shaq Fu: A Legend Reborn, it's the same company, but they pretty much said, yeah, Shaq Fu sucked. We made a terrible game. And they're giving it another shot. This game is not even really a fighting game the way the first game was. There is a fighting mode, but this game actually has like a full-on campaign where like you're running through the streets and you're taking on bosses and stuff like that. So it's like a full-on advanced video game. And it looks super fun. I think I'm going to pick it up. I don't know what the price is. I'm assuming it's not going to be a full-fledged $60 game. My guess would be like a $20, $30 type of deal. But I'm curious what they're going to do with this. It's a classic game, like I said, for the wrong reasons. But it seems like they're putting some care into this. And I think it's just funny that this is a thing that's even existing. It's coming out 24 years after the original Shaq Fu. So I don't know.
Wasn't
where
like
that
the original
idea came
Shaq Fu
from.
for like the Genesis or something like that?
I think so. The Genesis or the SNES or something like that. But that's what's crazy. Like, whose idea was it to bring that back? I have no idea, but I love it.
Honestly, I don't know. But one of the things that I like about it too is if you look at the trailer, it kind of reminds you of like those old school like beat 'em up games, ones that you would like stick it in quarter for like the arcade cabinets and whatnot. And that looks super cool to me because I was just like, oh man, this looks awesome. I can't wait to try this out. But it's definitely not like the old school kind of really bad controls fighting game that it has been before. So it is really cool to see them taking a new attempt at it, and hopefully this time they might get it right and might actually redeem the quote-unquote Shaq Fu brand in that way, I guess.
Right, yeah. Yeah,
and if we're lucky, there could be other characters like, I don't know, Uncle Drew or something. That would be
Kobe.
cool.
See, that would be cool. There's a lot more cameos they could do now. People are talking about Sharif, and he better be in the game. I'd like to see LeBron James in the game, or Kobe Bryant, or something like that. Who knows?
I like to see Steve Nash, honestly. I like Steve Nash to have a guest appearance.
That'd be hilarious. He's just
They
like
played
this
together
little
in
tiny
Phoenix.
dude.
Yeah.
They did.
I would just love to play a video game with Steve Nash in it. That would just be amazing. Oh, gosh,
Besides 2K.
okay.
And I would call him Stevie
besides
Wonder.
2K. 2K doesn't exist in Travis's mind. That
True,
gets him to
true.
be a normal human being.
Oh, God. The war. Oh,
The
God.
war. Flashbacks.
God.
Well, anyway, I'm going to go next then, and mine is actually going to be a game that already came out a couple years ago for the PS4 and PS Vita also, I believe, and that is YS8 Lacrimosa of Dana. Most people are just calling it Lacrimosa of Dana. But anyway, the reason I think that this is such a cool anticipated release, one of the reasons is kind of like an action JRPG kind of game as well, but one of the reasons that I actually talked to Mike and Travis before that I'm kind of excited about it is it really fits a style of game that hasn't yet been seen on the Switch. I mean, the closest I would even say that this game is Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but even so, that this game it really fits an audience that I don't think that the Nintendo Switch really has marketed much towards yet. I mean, you kind of had the attempts at JRPGs with like I Am Setsuna, Lost Sphere, but those were also kind of trying to capitalize on the fact that people still wanted games like Chrono Trigger and wanted modern versions of them to see if they could still last. But what I like about Lacrimosa of Dana is it kind of has more of a combat system that kind of feels like Legend of Zelda, even though that I know Flash moves and Flash Guard is completely different and everything, but it's kind of that style where you roam around, find monsters, beat them up with your sword or whatnot, and then you're trying to, I don't know, pull off cool combos and whatnot. It's not a series that I'm overly familiar with, but I do know that it fits kind of a niche audience that the Switch hasn't really put its name or put its word out to, so I think that it's going to do well, and I would hope to see that this game picks up and gets a lot of steam, because I know it's a kind of a rare game as well from talking with Mike.
Yeah, well, I was looking up the prices for it, because I remember I talked about this game in one video I did a long time ago. I was talking about Final Fantasy, but I mentioned it, and that was at the time it was just released, and I know it got really good reviews, but if you look it up now, like for most of the systems, it's over $60 now. I want to say like $60 to $70 is like the price range for it. And on Steam, which always has great deals, it's still like a flat $60. So just going off that, it's not like super rare, but yeah, it's definitely not a game that's easy to find. So I think that's cool to see it re-released for the Switch, so it's more accessible now.
And I mean, I think, again, and I hope that it does well, because I mean, this is actually kind of an audience that I feel like Sony had down for a long time, and Nintendo barely even attempted to at least try to get these people who play these kinds of games in there. And if this game does well, I'm sure you're going to see other games that are like this that are going to be coming over. I mean, you've already seen, I think, like, I mean, you know, Nintendo has had Atlas games like Shin Megami Tensei, but I mean, nothing like along this kind of style of game. So I would like to see it do well.
Yeah, I think if it does do well, I think that would be good in terms of like games like Final Fantasy and stuff coming on, because like the games you mentioned are good, like the Octopath Traveler. What are the other ones you mentioned? They're blanking. Lost Sphere.
Lost Sphere.
Yeah.
And
Setsuna.
Those are all great games, but they're all like digital type games. So, and just not that they are smaller, but they feel smaller when they like portray it that way. So a game like Lacrimosa of Donna is like, it's a full-fledged cartridge game, so it feels bigger, you know, in that sense. And so I think that's good if they get a sort of quote-unquote bigger feeling game to come out good on the system. I think that'll go a long way for them.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, if you see gameplay of it, it looks like a fantastic game, runs really well, and all the fights are really, really creative. I, for one, really want to pick this up, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it if it is the $60 right away. I might have to save up for it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that price tag comes out.
All right, Travis, what do you got for us?
Well, the first game that I'm going to talk about, I believe, is a PS4 exclusive, if I'm not wrong. I don't know. It's Vampire.
Yeah, well, I'll correct you and say it's Xbox One and PC also.
Dang.
You were close.
Almost, Travis.
So
You're
just
close,
not
you're
the
close.
Switch. So just not the Switch. It's like every other game that typically... It'll probably come out on the Switch in a year.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
But it looked really cool from the couple trailers. I think that when I first got my PC, this game was kind of being teased a little bit, because I remember seeing parts of the trailer before, because it's basically you become a vampire, and then I think from the other things that I've seen, you kind of get to pick your path on whether or not you'll like terrorize this village versus being a good guy and just kind of using your powers every now and then to like actually go do some cool things, but not actually like murder people. Right?
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe that I got from it. I haven't looked too much into it.
So it's basically, because I love games like that where I can either, you know, if I am in a, you know, sassy mood, just kind of slay an entire village just because I can.
Right.
You know,
Like a Dynasty Warriors kind of thing.
Exactly. Or I could just, you know, befriend everybody and then be just an awesome doctor because I've been alive for 500 years.
Look at that. There you go.
Exactly. So, because that's kind of what, like, Dishonored was for me. You know, you can be the bad guy, just kill everything and then, like, worsen the plague. Or you can, you know, kill nobody and then you're still honored at the end, but you, like, still got rid of all the bad guys by, like, putting them in jail.
Right.
So, I always like these type of games. And then I know someone has told me about Undertale and how that has multiple ways to play it and how I should play it.
Uh-huh.
I have no idea who you're talking about. The guy sounds like a dummy.
Yeah, Undertale's
His name's
terrible.
Pat, okay?
Oh.
Calling you out, Pat? No, it was me. I keep telling Travis about Undertale.
Well, Pat told me about Undertale too, and
yeah, he probably told you about it before I did, honestly.
yeah, because I mean, he was literally playing it in my apartment while we were all hanging out.
Yeah, sounds about right. Undertale's
Yeah.
a great game for that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, so if you are like me and love to play game, like especially for replay value, I love games like this because like when I go to play Dishonored, I'm literally just going to be a massacre. Like I'm just going to slay everything because I did the no-kill route first. And it's going to feel good killing those pedophiles.
Jesus Christ.
Well, amen.
Oh, okay. So I guess you like pedophiles. That's cool. That's
No,
cool.
I'm not saying that, but it's just like I just love murdering
Yeah,
people.
either
Travis.
you
That
kill them
sounds a little wrong.
or you love them, Nick. That's the options.
Yeah.
Okay, take your pick.
There's no in between. It's only the extremes.
Oh, God.
Okay, well,
One thing I will say about
Either
Vampire...
way.
Yeah,
Only
there's
the Sith believes in absolutes.
only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Now, one thing I do want to say about this game is actually it's made by a company that I love called Don't Not Entertainment because they made Life is Strange. And so I
I
think
love
that's where
Life is
that,
Strange.
Yeah, so I think that's where that pick your path thing comes from. So I'm excited. You know, it's a different type of game, but I'm excited to see how this relates to Life is Strange, because
Awesome! I'm so happy I have a PS4 now, so I get to play it.
yeah, that's going to be super cool. So I'm excited for this game also. This is definitely like one of the big releases I'm excited for, except obviously for the one Nick's going to be talking about, but I won't spoil that.
Oh my god, I'm literally buying 3 games
Yeah.
this month. This is
Dude.
bad.
Your money is going to be gone soon.
Yeah, well, good thing I have a birthday, right?
There you go. So look at that.
You have a birthday, weirdo.
Yeah,
Who has
once
those?
a year, sometimes.
Either way, Mike,
deal.
what do you got?
All right, so I'm ready for my kind of sort of big one, though, it's not a huge release. It's called Jurassic World Evolution. The whole idea of this game is kind of humorous to me because it's Jurassic World, but it's not an action game, it's not an adventure game, it's a business simulator because you're actually running Jurassic World, and I think that's kind of cool. So the whole way it works is you essentially... and this is essentially just from what I've seen on their website and stuff, but you pick the dinosaurs, so you actually like raise them and hatch them, and you can sort of raise them and how they interact with the world around you. And what's cool about it is it has kind of a deep management system from what I've read, kind of similar to like SimCities or things like that, which I think is really cool. But even beyond that, you sort of choose your path with it. And when I read this part, it kind of sounded like Civilization to me, where you can sort of go the science route with the research aspect of things, where you learn more about the dinosaurs, things like that. You can go the entertainment route, where you sort of have, obviously as the name suggests, more of an entertaining park. Or you can have a security route, where you keep the park secure, because if you've seen the Jurassic Park movies, some of the problems with Jurassic Park is that it's not very secure, and it can get kind of dangerous. And so you sort of focus on these 3 things. You have to balance keeping your park secure and focusing on the research while also keeping it entertaining for your guests and stuff. It's not really a story-based game, obviously it's a business simulator, but there's a lot of lore and narrative that goes into this game where you learn about the dinosaurs and your park and stuff like that. And so to
what
me,
I'm getting is this basically a more badass form of Roller Coaster Tycoon?
kind of, sort of, to be honest, in that sense, because it's basically Roller Coaster Tycoon, but with dinosaurs, which sounds awesome. You could say it's kind of like Zoo Tycoon in that sense, too, but instead of zoo animals, you're raising T-Rexes and Diplosauruses and things like that.
Okay.
Which,
can you put a petting zoo in the T-Rex like you could do a petting zoo in the tiger exhibit?
see, I hope so. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Wouldn't it?
I would absolutely love that. But I don't know. So that was sort of my big thing. It's cool. And actually, funny that you mentioned Roller Coaster Tycoon, Travis, because that's the developer for this game. So
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so good.
Yeah. So, that's cool, too. And I mentioned Zoo Tycoon, and they developed that game, too. So this is a game about Jurassic Park that's a business simulator, so it sounds ridiculous, like, oh, that doesn't really, how would that work? But it's made by a company that knows how to do business simulators. And so I think that aspect of it is going to be really, really good. And they're just taking the Jurassic Park template and adding on to it. So I think this game is going to be an absolute hit. It's been a while since they've actually made, it's Frontier Developments, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned that, the company. They made Planet Coaster, and that was like the last one they did, which was a great game a couple years ago. So it's been a while, but I'm excited. They're great at making these games. I think this game's going to be great. And the idea of it's super awesome.
Who doesn't like dinosaurs?
Right? And who doesn't like economic investments into parks?
And hopefully Chris Pratt will always be like the Jurassic World zookeeper person, if you will.
If he's not in the game, it's a 0 out of 10. Don't buy. I'm just going to say that now.
But if there's
We'll
a petting
have a
zoo,
mic review on that later
2 out
on.
of 10.
Right, there we go. That sounds better, Travis.
Yeah.
All right, so are we down for the big release that I'm sure everybody has been waiting for us to talk about?
Uh-oh, here it is.
All right, well, let's go. Let's get it over with. Mario Tennis Aces. Oh, sorry, I mean Sushi Striker. Oh, sorry, I mean Mario Tennis Aces.
Oh, I just realized what we saved for
so
last.
anyway.
I'm excited.
So Mario Tennis Aces, and this one, obviously, I actually had the honor of talking about it for this video, is because of the fact that I was, me and Travis and Mike were talking before, and they know how much I loved Mario Tennis Power Tour, and finally, we'll have sort of a return to that kind of game kind of style with Mario Tennis Aces, because, and I have seen the trailers for it, there is an online mode, and I am super, super, super excited for the online mode. Or not online, sorry, adventure mode. Did I say online mode? I meant to say adventure mode.
I mean, they have both. They have both.
Well, yes, they have both. If they didn't have an online mode nowadays, then it wouldn't be as good. But yes, they have an adventure mode, which is actually super, super fun. I can't wait for that. They kind of have a little bit of an overworld like they did before. I'm not sure if it's going to have the RPG elements that a Mario Tennis Power Tour had, but
I feel like it will because of that Waluigi Rose, because I feel like you can't just make that a special every single time, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I know for Mario Tennis Power Tour, you're able to choose your specials, and you can like level up your specials as well. And like obviously it did make them a lot better, and it also incentivized you to actually go through like some of the training routines and whatnot that they had, and they were really fun mini games to do too. And so it's one of the reasons why I loved Mario Tennis Power Tour. But with Mario Tennis Aces, I haven't seen anything advertised like that. I mean, I know there is kind of mini games and like kind of random modes that you can do, but I do need to mention this, and it's because I have seen for the online demo, and I don't understand why Nintendo keeps doing this, but the online demo just does not work right now, at least from the videos that I've seen. So I think Nintendo's got it's like an online tournament demo, whatever. But I am still super excited about this game. I mean, the last Mario Tennis game that we saw was Mario Tennis Ultra Smash. Not very good.
What game?
Yeah, exactly. What game?
Doesn't exist.
We're not gonna mention it.
It's not on our channel. Don't worry.
Yeah, it was basically empty with nothing that really had going for it. But I hope that Mario Tennis Aces kind of returns to form, to at least in my mind, for my more favorite Mario Tennis games like Mario Tennis for the 64, to Power Tour for the Game Boy Advance, and Mario Tennis. What's the one for the GameCube? Power Smash? No, Power Tour. Something like that.
Power Smash sound right. Something. It'll be on the screen. If we're wrong,
one of those it'll be. But that's what I want those Mario Tennis games to actually go back to, because those were super fun. The extra modes that they had kept me entertained for such a long time. But man, Nintendo's. I think they didn't learn from their ARMS demo, where they should really just not have it online. They should just let you download the demo and just try it out for yourself. I don't know. Yeah. I think the game's gonna sell well anyway, because they've been hyping it up for such a long time. But I'm excited for it, and I want to see that adventure mode be good, because if I'm going to take it on the go, there needs to be a good adventure mode. There has to be.
Well, and I saw there were boss battles in it, which they could be good or bad, but I just think that idea is kind of cool, a tennis game having boss battles. So yeah, that's interesting.
I'm also curious if that'll be like a method of unlocking people too.
Ooh, yeah,
so that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, because they've done that before.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure wasn't the Petey Piranha one of the bosses, and isn't he one of the playable characters?
Yeah, Petey Piranha is one of the is he one of the playable characters? I know he was in the one for the GameCube. I can't remember for the other ones.
Yeah, because if he is, it'd be really cool if that's how you have to unlock him, is you actually have to go through the adventure mode, because I like it when the campaign gives you a little something to do with the multiplayer and not have everything already unlocked for the multiplayer.
Yeah. At least, I'm with you on that, Travis. At least makes you feel like you've earned to play these characters, I guess. Otherwise, if they just give you everything unlocked in the beginning, it's just like, all right, cool. That's, at least in my mind, I feel like that's kind of boring. I want to at least experience some way of going through, okay, I worked my butt off. I actually beat this hard boss. That way I can actually use him. Even though he's not as good, he's overpowered when you face him as a boss, he's still fun to play as, just a normal character. And then me and Travis can bring our Switches next to each other, and we can play Mario Tennis Aces on our own screens.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
And I will be on a trip while that game is being sent out, so I will actually be playing it on the airplane. Yay me.
I think this is almost like the perfect kind of system that Mario Tennis Aces can be on, because it can be on the go. It can. I mean, everybody's talked about it. It can be on the go. It can be a console game. But at its core, you can actually play multiple people or multiple people can be playing it at once on a local connection, and I think that's almost perfect. Because for Mario Tennis Power Tour, I think they had something like that, but man, it was just not I don't think the hardware and software existed that could actually make it happen. And nowadays it can, and so nowadays there's nothing really limiting it to be a huge success in that mind. Unless Nintendo does something stupid like they did in Brawl and try to put in a stupid mechanic to make it fair. I don't think they did, but I mean,
if they put tripping in tennis, I would cry.
I'm gonna be pissed if they did
hilarious.
that. But
it would be hilarious, funny at
but
first.
I would not like the game.
Oh my god, if that was just a game mode, that would actually be kind of fun.
Yeah, true.
Just a specific game mode.
With tripping.
Okay, as a specific game mode, I would like that.
Yes.
Trip mode.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Not for the default settings, but as one of the random things that could happen. It could be funny.
Hey, turn on or off tripping.
Yeah, exactly. So I like that idea, but I mean, overall, as a game, this is the most optimal of a system, at least nowadays, that this game can be released for. If it doesn't do well on this system, it can probably be the end of Mario Tennis, which I don't want to see, because those games used to be so much fun. And man, I don't want to go and buy Mario Tennis Power Tour again, because I can't find my copy of it.
And for me, I am usually one who is not excited for Mario Tennis games, but this one did pique my interest, and I've been stalking it. I even watched a Game Explain video saying that they think that Ultra Smash was literally just kind of a demo of this game, because they literally use the exact same map, and then there's nothing unique about Ultra Smash. They're like, let's just release this for the Wii U, and we'll just continue working on it for the actual Switch for the finished product.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah,
I think the cord is still the same. It's still the same as well. I'm sure they made updates to it, but yeah, I believe that they're right with the.
Because they literally have the like screen in the exact same place, and like it's hilarious.
Yeah, this like Ultra Smash was definitely not at least it was either rushed or it wasn't finished or something like that, or maybe they just wanted more games for the Wii U. But yeah, I think Aces is like the culmination, I guess, of their work on Ultra Smash. That's what I think, and I hope it does well. I really do,
Same,
but we'll see.
'cause
They've been advertising it a lot.
Yeah.
If it does well, I'm hoping to see my beloved Super Strikers come back. That would be awesome.
Oh my gosh, yes. This actually, yeah, what Travis says is a good point too. This can pave the way for other Mario sports games that can get really popular too. And if they brought back a Mario Golf one too, because even though I love Mario Golf World Tour for the 3DS, man, I would love to see one for the Switch as well. I'm a huge Mario Golf fan. I'm not sure if anybody noticed that yet, or from our videos.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge golfer, but Super Strikers would be fun. What was the baseball one called? That one was actually fun.
I think like Mario Superstar Baseball or something like that. Nothing creative.
Yeah. Super Sluggers.
Super Sluggers. That's the one.
Yes. Yeah, that was actually fun.
Yeah.
But
that
yeah,
was fun, too.
I would just love to see more Mario sports games just because they're fun to have. They're fun party games.
Right.
And I think the Switch would be a better platform for it as well because the 3DS is dying and now the Switch needs to pick it up.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then it's just easier to do like, because, I mean, for Super Strikers, I wouldn't have had as much fun single player as I did like doing our stupid little tournament. That was so fun. It's definitely more of a split screen multiplayer game.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so Travis, you want to bring us on home before we do some honorable mentions?
Okay, so I too have a Switch game, which Nick kind of already ruined. But
I'm sorry
it's
about that. I didn't mean to do that.
Sushi Striker!
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, when I first heard about this game, I thought it was stupid. I'm like, I don't get it. Why are we just having a whole game based off of throwing sushi at each other? But then I watched some gameplay of it, and I'm like, huh, this actually has a lot of strategy. There's multiple ways to go about it, and I get the satisfaction of eating a bunch of sushi and throwing plates at people.
Right.
And then there's actually like a lot deeper of a story than I ever thought there would be in a sushi game.
Yeah.
Because there's a story, and it actually wasn't half bad, because I watched like 10 minutes of it from Game Explain. That's where I typically go when I'm researching Nintendo things, because they dissect everything to the, not even to the dot, because they dissect the dot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm like, huh, this game actually is on my list. I don't know if there's a demo or if they're planning on throwing a demo out for it, but I would love for that to happen, because it's definitely a unique type of playing style, which is another reason why it's piqued my interest, because I love different types of strategy games. So I would love to have a demo of that game, because I could easily see me like start to play it and then be like, oh, this is kind of getting stale already. But it does look really cool for what I've seen. I definitely gonna try to play it if I can, because it looks great. And then, like I said, there's like so many different not upgrades, but like different like side people you can have that like change your abilities. So like one will make all your plates the same color, one will speed up the other guy's stuff, and it's cool because you can either manipulate your own stuff or theirs or both. I don't know how many people you can have.
Right.
I didn't do that much research. But it does look super cool. If you like different things, this is definitely different.
Oh, yeah.
Sushi.
Oh, yeah.
This Striker's very different.
This game has Nick's name written all over it, too, with like the puzzle aspects of it. Like, I could see you getting
I was actually
addicted.
going to say... I was gonna say that because in my mind it kind of looked more. It kind of looks like a mix between like an action puzzle game kind of thing.
Yeah,
and it
pretty
looked,
much.
It looked really cool, but at the same time, like you, at least for me, it's when you get into a game like that. I obviously think people who've been on our channel for a while know one of my favorite games is Pokemon Puzzle League, which is basically a Pokemon skin of Tetris Attack, and it is really, really cool to see games like that succeed. But man, it's got to be an addictive puzzle formula. So I would love to see it. Like if you get hooked on some of those immediate levels, then yes, I'll have full faith in the game. But I have not like initially when you saw the game, it didn't wow me, I guess. But that's because I haven't really like understood the depth that the puzzle can actually get, I guess.
Yeah.
So for me, I would hope that like a demo would come out, at least let me try it, and then it would basically let me work my way up to see if I wanted to get it. Either way. It's coming for the Switch and 3DS, which I think is very smart because they're still supporting the 3DS. Yay!
Yeah, like
Yay.
the only game this month coming out for the 3DS too. So
Basically.
enjoy it.
Yeah, no, Sushi Striker I think will be a really cool game to see. I would hope for there to be a demo so I can pick it up. And again, it is one of those games that I feel like it would be cool just as like kind of like a sit down play for like 30 minutes as like you wait for an airplane or something.
I'm also
like that.
pretty sure there is a online mode so you can compete against other people.
Yeah, there's
That'd
like
be fun.
2-player versus mode, which is cool.
Yeah, no,
it is online.
I'm excited for this month. Honestly, this month has a lot of really good games.
Right.
Thank you, Summer.
Thank you, Summer and Summer of Games.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, actually, I was going to mention a couple games that look kind of cool for the Switch coming out that I'm really excited for. But they're all remastered, so I don't want to mention them before, and that's the Crash Bandicoot Trilogy.
Yeah, I forgot that's going to Switch, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's coming out this month.
Which has given a lot of people faith that Crash could be a character in the new Smash Bros.
That's true. And not only that, Wolfenstein 2 is coming to the Switch, which gives me hope that Hitler is going to be a character in Smash Bros. As well.
Oh my God! If he was in Always the Master Hand,
That would be incredible. That's the hands. They're Hitler's hands.
yeah.
Oh, I would love that. There's also
I've been killing Nazis all my life, and I didn't even know.
Yeah, right there you go. Plot twist. There's a Lego Incredibles game coming out, which makes sense with the Incredibles movie coming out. That I
Sounds
think
incredible.
Very funny, Travis. I'm excited for that movie. And I think that was all the big ones I was excited for. There's like Super Bomberman R is going to other consoles, so it's not going to be a Switch exclusive anymore. So that's an interesting one. And then something I'm kind of excited for, the Elder Scrolls Online is getting an expansion for Somerset Isles, which is one of my favorite areas in those games to explore. So I'm
I was
excited
about
for
to
that
ask
as well.
what that was, but okay, it's your favorite, so it has to be good.
It's a cool area. It's an island, and I like island settings in most things. Yeah.
Also,
so those are like the big
I was
ones.
gonna say, I think we should at least mention. I'm not sure if you did. Wolfenstein 2 is coming for the Switch.
Yeah, that was my Hitler joke.
Oh, I'm an idiot. I completely overlooked that.
Yeah.
Well, either way, sorry.
Why else would we talk
I
about
missed that.
Hitler, man?
No,
Did
but
you mention Far Cry 3, Mike?
no, I didn't. We can talk about that one.
So Far Cry 3, the Classic Edition, is coming for PS4 and Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also, even though it's not really a Far Cry. I mean, I know the Far Cries that are out are like, wait, this is not Far Cry 3 anymore. But if people want to go back to those kinds of, at least go back to Far Cry 3, hey, the Classic Edition is being released for PS4, Xbox One. I have no idea what that entails.
Yeah, I was
Should be a
about
big
to
release.
ask. Does that include anything special, or is it just so you can have it on this next console?
No idea, Travis, but it's an anticipated release, damn it.
Mike, tell me.
yeah, as far as I've seen, I think it's exactly the same. It's just gonna have like all the DLC and stuff, kind of like what Resident Evil did, where like, yeah, you want to play Far Cry 3 on the new console? Well, here you go. But usually they make it cheaper. It's probably gonna be like at most like $25-$30, which isn't the
Okay.
best, but yeah, it'll just be updated graphics and all that stuff. So
Yeah, that's fair.
mostly for people that want to play it on a new console that couldn't play it before.
Yeah.
I wish there was a better way to do it than just release a new physical copy, but that's not a topic for today. But I just, it's odd, but I'm okay with it.
Yep, I agree.
But yeah, so if no one else has any more honorable mentions, we could probably close this one up.
Yeah, because I was really close to making Wolfenstein mine, but I'm like, I just want to talk about new games instead of remastered, because I feel like that's all the Switch usually has.
Yeah, Sushi Striker's a cool one to talk about too. So that
Exactly.
was cool.
That's why I talked about it.
Yeah, so there's a
Because
lot.
I was between Vampire and Wolfenstein.
Right.
But I'm like, Vampire looks cool.
Yeah, well, that is a cool one too. That's actually like the big release I'm excited for, outside of Mario Tennis, obviously. Vampire looks really cool. So yeah, there's a lot of cool games coming out in June. So we've talked a lot. But what games are you interested in? Did we mention it, or is there another game we didn't talk about that you're interested in? Let us know below. We all made it clear that we're probably going to be purchasing a few games this month. So hopefully you will too. This is going to be a better month this year. So with that being said, I'm Mike.
I'm Nick.
And I'm the Travis guy.
Bye.
Bye.
Adios.